Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Fun Investors. Today we are going to be tackling a very fun topic, but not so fun depending on how you view it, how to financially prepare for a wedding. We all know how weddings can go. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it can go easy, depending on how you prepare. So today we are going to just take you through some of the very 5 points that at least will guide you on how to financially be ready for this big journey in your life. And yeah, so on to my first point. Budget and stick to that budget. We all know what happens when you don't draw a budget. It means you're not going to be able to handle everything the way it's supposed to go, or you might even fail at it. So in this budget, make sure it's affordable. Like, affordability is key at this point. Don't do something huge that you can't afford, and don't give people a huge responsibility, the people around you, to be able to cater for a wedding that even you too cannot afford. So factor in the cakes, the attires, the venue, even your honeymoon needs to be factored here. This is the point where you're looking at every single thing, like even your bridal party. What amounts are you going to use for every single thing during this wedding? You have to budget and you have to make it very clear and make sure you stick to it. Because if you don't stick to your budget, you might go overboard, and that means you have to go deep into your pocket again, or you have to ask for more help. So I feel like if you don't stick to your budget when you're planning for a wedding, you're bound to fail at the end of the day. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, sticking to your budget is really key when you're planning for a wedding.
Great point, Brenda. And after you set your budget, there is something that you need to ask yourself. Where can I be able to get this money to do my wedding from? Definitely, you need to start saving early and save more. And what happens is that if you don't save for this particular case, or for the wedding, then definitely you end up getting some loans to finance your wedding, which is a greatest mistake that most of us do. You don't want to finance your wedding through loans, because remember, there is always a life after that wedding. So start saving early. Don't be pressurized by anyone. Just do your thing. If you've budgeted for 300,000, stick to that budget. Save that amount of money. And of course, you need also to have some miscellaneous costs. What expenses can you incur over and above your budget? You also need to factor that in, so that as you save, you consider the miscellaneous expenses that may arise.
Thank you, Mugambi. Thank you, Bree. Those are really great points there. Just thinking about the budget, thinking about how to finance it and not going on loans. And I'd add that it's important for you to think about the timing as well. Are you going to do your wedding during peak season or non-peak season? So peak season is normally holiday time. That's whether it's April, August or December. So around April, we have a lot of holiday, Easter holiday, and we also have, which other holidays come up? I think we have the May 1st weekend. So, those are like peak seasons around the month of April. We also have peak seasons around the month of August, especially because a lot of schools are closed. So it's in between terms or semesters. So you find a lot of people going on holiday. And then around October, actually, because we have two main national holidays around that time, and then December. So the question becomes, if you plan your wedding during a peak season, then you realize that will heavily affect the kind of amounts that you're talking about. So you may not have space to bargain with some of your service providers. So I would just say, get your timings right and choose your date around when it's low peak season. Yeah, but I don't know what else you'd want to add, Gladys, onto that conversation.
Okay, adding what you guys have already said, I would recommend that people look for deals and also bargains with the suppliers. It's always good to have a comparison of what other people are offering, or what the suppliers are offering. And as you look at what they're offering, look at what they have done before, for you to be actually in the loop of what kind of work you expect from them. So you'll have to look at their previous works, compare different suppliers, and see what fits your taste, what fits your budget, what fits the two of you as you do your wedding. So look around, see what the suppliers are offering, and also look for deals. At times, if you don't speak out and tell a supplier, I need a 10% cut off, you won't get it. But if you say, I want a 10% cut off, you can even negotiate with something like, I don't want these flowers, but you can give me these flowers, then we make the price reasonable for for the couple doing the wedding. So it's important that you look for those deals with suppliers and talk to them nicely and see what they have done so that you totally enjoy your wedding at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Gwen. I think also in addition to that, it's good to also include your friends and your family in this whole process, because arranging for the wedding can be really tedious. And so different scenarios can occur. Maybe you're working and you don't have time to arrange for this wedding. So you can have one of your siblings or your cousins assist you, or a good friend of yours assist you running after different vendors, getting flowers. Or if you have a committee, if they still do committees, you can have different people, friends and family mixed. So they can be the person in charge of the cake, they can be the person in charge of the flowers, the one in charge of the venue, the one in charge of your rings, the one in charge of your dresses, so that it gives you peace of mind as you're going into your wedding. You're not stressed wondering, is the food cooked? Is it ready? Are the vendors coming? Are there flowers? Is the church organized? Give it to someone to help you manage. If you can afford it, you can also get someone, pay for an event organizer, a wedding planner who can do all these things for you. But please feel free to ask for help from your friends and family, because it also reduces costs. And most of the time, most of them just want to help. A lot of people just want to be involved. They want to be a part of this celebration with you. And a lot of them feel pride when they know that they were able to walk down that aisle with you in their own special way. So not everyone might be able to contribute financially, but there are many who are willing to help as, in different roles. Yeah. So maybe Brenda, if you have anything else to say, or Gwen?
Yeah, I think
before Brenda says something, I want to ask you guys, since we're talking about financially preparing for a wedding, what do you guys think of the people who normally plan for a wedding without actually having a budget, or with a budget without having saved? They're looking to be financed by people around them. What's your thoughts on such cases?
Yeah, I think there was even a meme that was going around that you have 15K and the budget for your wedding is 2 million, as in, so you have to be very realistic when you're asking for help. You can't be having 15,000 and you're thinking of a wedding of 2 million. Like, you have to be very realistic. How much can you afford? Come up with an amount that is even more than half of what people can now bring to the table. It's okay to ask for help, the way Maken has mentioned. But how much help are you asking? Are you draining people? Or are you really asking for help? Like, literally, you have to be careful. I think that's what I think.
I don't want to risk shooting myself in the foot here, but so in case I plan on calling you and you're my class 2, we're in class 2 together, by the way, just get ready. You will fund my wedding anyway, seriously. What I would want to say is this. We've grown up in a culture that has idealized weddings. Like, we think about how there are these princesses and there's this knight in shining armor, and you have all of these imaginations of how a wedding day should be. And so that's how we've grown up. You think about Beauty and the Beast, you think about Cinderella. There's always this really magical experience. And that's what we always think about when we think about a wedding, like that magical experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about weddings, especially from the side of the country I come from? I mean, you're talking about a whole community, 1,000, or, okay, not 1,000, but like around 500 people coming in for the wedding. So I think we just really need to get a bit more real and begin to debunk or demystify some things that we could have in our minds when we think about what an ideal wedding looks like. I think I remember in the news a few months back, there's a couple who unfortunately took a loan for almost 6 million or so. You remember the couple who took a loan and they had their wedding, and unfortunately they didn't have the capacity to service the loan, and they decided to take their lives as a result of that. So we have romanticized the concept of weddings, but then we have not really seen how then do we fund it. This being a developing country, where you're gonna get all that money to fund such a wedding. So I think we really now need to have those genuine conversations. But I'd love to hear what Mugambi has to say, the male child, boy child. Let's hear from you.
I think the whole idea of wedding is just a matter of the kind of wedding you want to have as a couple, not for the entire nation or the entire group of your friends. Because I tend to believe that sometimes we succumb to the pressure from our friends to do that fancy wedding just to please them. But as I mentioned, there is life after this wedding. So just be realistic, as the rest of us have said. And actually, if you are clever enough during this pandemic period, it is the best time to do your wedding. You've seen people do weddings costing 50,000 and they're very happy. So take chances, take opportunities when they come. And of course, be intentional with what you want to do. And again, don't rush yourself just to do it so early. Just be sure and ready that you want to do this wedding. Yeah.
Just to add on that, those of us outside the country, there's this thing where we can't quite have a wedding of the few people even during a pandemic. So in case, like say there's a clash between the parents and the couple, and the parents insist, no, we have to invite auntie so and blah, 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 then decide with you and your parents and whoever else wants to invite an extra 50 members that they will take a cost, you split the budget among the 3 of you or the 4 of you or whoever, so that your parents pay for whoever they feel they want to come. You guys pay for whoever they feel they want to come, so that if the wedding is going to be large, at least each party who has insisted that so-and-so has to be there will fund for those different sections. So that's another way in which, yes, you can have a big wedding and have people funding if they insist they want specific people, and yeah, in the wedding.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, McKenna, when you're saying split costs, that doesn't normally really go well. But yeah, I think it can work in some families.
If you insist, you have to split the cost.
Yeah, some folks will be like, but why are we even being put to like the ones to like pay for this kind of stuff? You guys need to figure it out, as we just want to invite people. You know, they'll make you feel like you need to fund it, but at the same time they want to bring their people. So I feel like it's a conversation that can go for so long, but we only have like less time to do this. So yeah, I think for a wedding, it's about the spouse, you and your spouse, and it's just a matter of, like we've said, what's your budget? What have you saved first? What time are you looking at? Like in terms of when do you want to do this wedding? Are you willing to negotiate with suppliers, like Gladys mentioned? And are you like, do you have a family that is really supportive, the way McKenna mentioned? So it's a matter of like, look at yourself, look at your spouse, look at your family, where you come from. What best can you do with this wedding? How many people do you want in this wedding? So planning for a wedding can be fun, but at the same time, it can be draining. So depending on how you look at it, these are some of the tips you can take home. These are some of the financial ways you can at least plan for this wedding. So that is it from us today. Just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for always being here to the end. And remember to subscribe if you haven't, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Also comment down below with some of your experiences and some of the things that didn't work out for you, so that people may be able to learn more. And remember to hit that notification bell for when we upload a video every Thursday. And yeah, thank you guys. And that's it from us. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.